Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the show. It is The Arena and I'm Samson Olede. Now let's talk about Rafael Nadal. Yes, the 13-time champion at Roland Garros. Rafael Nadal is through to the quarterfinals where he has set up a blockbuster clash with Novak Djokovic. And this is coming after a hard-fought fourth-round victory over Felix Auger-Aliassime. And that was in 5 sets, it must be said. 3-6, 6-3, 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 that ended in favor of Nadal. It was a very difficult one. You have to give Felix Auger-Aliassime his flowers in terms of making it very competitive. At some point, Nadal seemed to be on the edge, but you had the Canadian always battling back and fighting back. While for Nadal, it proved once again that indeed he is the king of clay. Now, it sets up a blockbuster quarterfinal clash, as I said, between Nadal and Novak Djokovic. For Novak Djokovic, is title defense, so we'll be looking at defending his title successfully and also winning his first Grand Slam of the year. Remember, he missed out on the Australian Open title defense due to vaccination issues. But it's for Nadal. Nadal is gone in for his 14th Roland Garros or French Open title, and it will make it his 22nd when it comes to total Grand Slam hauls. For Novak Djokovic, he needs to defeat Nadal and win this title to be able to match up with Nadal's record Grand Slam haul of 21 titles. The quarterfinal would definitely live up to expectation, and thanks to Felix Auger-Aliassime, this has been a very, very competitive one. Let's see how that pans out in terms of the quarterfinal between Nadal as well as Novak Djokovic. The final team has been guaranteed, talking about promotion to the Premier League, and it's Nottingham Forest who edged out Huddersfield to clinch the title. It must be said the contest was between the third-placed team and the fourth-placed team in the championship standing. Huddersfield finished third, while Nottingham Forest finished fourth. And then when it got down to the playoffs, it was Nottingham Forest and own goal. What do you make of Nottingham Forest after 23 years? They're back in the Premier League, or 22, I beg your pardon.
One of the iconic teams in the Premier League, in England, to be precise.
A household name.
Won the UEFA Champions League after 23 years of absence.
Yep.
They are back into the top flight football in England. Even though it wasn't a fluent or spectacular game from them, but they got the job done. They are a goal-win first half own goal. Yep. Even though there were a lot of shout of penalties from other street, but the Nottingham Forest are actually back to where they truly believe they belong. And let's wait and see what they're gonna add to the excitement in the Premier League. But we welcome them into the league.
Okay. You should also understand for our viewers that the reward for winning the playoff final is not just a promotion to the Premier League. There's also an astonishing £170 million fee that comes with that. So Nottingham Forest securing a Premier League return, and more importantly, £170 million. This is a huge sum of money for little clubs like this, not just to reinforce in terms of getting new players to prosecute the Premier League, but also to show up other expenditures, probably in terms of player salaries or that of the staff. Now, let's talk about the International Table Tennis Federation's African Championship, which held here in Lagos, Nigeria, known as the Festival of Table Tennis, held here in Lagos, Nigeria. As I said, you had the Egyptian duo of Omar Assar as well as Anagoda emerge as champions. We'll start with the men's division, men's category. Our own Aruna Kodri, the #1 player in Africa and the number 10 in the world, battled for the final, and that went into 7 games with the Egyptian winning the decider. You had Aruna Kodri of Nigeria also pulling up injured during the match, had a bit of tightness to his hamstring, and that's reduced his mobility. So he ended up losing the match as Omar Assar, the #2 in Africa, won the match 8-11, 4-11, 13-11, 11-6, 5-11, 11-7, and 14-12 in the decider to emerge the champion. It was their 19th meeting, and the Egyptian has won 11, while Aruna Kodri has won 8. On your screen there is the 14-year-old sensation. It must be said she is the biggest face or face rather of table tennis in Africa at this point in time. Just 14 years old, Anna Goda, the Egyptian, defeating Nigeria's own Fatima Bello in 4 straight games, 11-7, 11-5, 11-4, 11-6 to clinch the title. And for their rewards, it must be said that the Egyptian duo went home with $5,000 in terms of prize money, while for the Nigerian duo of Aruna Quadri as well as Fatima Bello, they went home with $2,500 for their efforts as runner-up for the event. Again, this is something commendable for Fatima Bello especially. This is her first continental run. She's the 3 times West African champion, but when it comes to continental showpiece, she finds it difficult to make deep runs. This time around, she went all the way through to the final. Unfortunately, met a match, or rather met a superior, opposition in terms of Anna Goda, the 14-year-old. In fact, she's just 14 years and 7 months old. Talking about the Egyptian superstar at this time, and what a credible run she had. Defeated Dina Mesherev, that's the defending champion of the event, in the semi-final before getting past Fatima Bello in 4 games. She went through the whole 7 games against Dina in the semi-final, while getting past Fatima Bello in 4 games to clinch the title. At 14 years and 7 months, this is the face of women's table tennis in Africa, and you can rest assured that Anna Goda, barring any career-threatening injury, will be here for the long run. For Aruna Quadri, well, we hope that he's fit enough. You have the Budapest Smash coming up from the 11th to the 24th, I beg your pardon, of July, which is less than 2 months away. We hope that he's fit. There you had Amar Osa doing, showing a bit of sportsmanship while, Aruna was laying down or lying down on the field, on the courts, written in pain. But you have to give him credit for that. Manchester United generated $192 million in revenue in fiscal third quarter, I beg your pardon, up from $149 million in revenue for the same period last year. Now, this is despite lackluster results on the pitch this past season. The club owned by the Glazer family, however, experienced a net loss of $35 million compared to $23 million in third quarter 2021. Commercial revenue reached $83 million in fiscal third quarter, which is a 12.9% increase year over year. Broadcasting revenue hit $65 million, down from $74 million in fiscal third quarter 2021, while matchday revenue was $45 million compared to $2 million for the same period last year. It was the first match for Osi Peseri, or the Peseri era, if you want to call it that. 2-1, it was a depleted side as well, one should mention that, but the Super Eagles of Nigeria lost by 2-1 to Mexico. And what do you make of the performance? Is it a glimpse of what we should expect under Osi Peseri?
Most definitely, but we have to understand the fact that this is the first game of from under the new coach, and also a lot of experiments will be put in place. What we need to understand is that this is not a full-strength Super Eagles. It is actually a mixture of new players and their own. So this is a platform for the new coaching crew to understand the task ahead of them, and hopefully in a subsequent game against Ecuador, at least we will see a glimpse of what we should be expecting for the Nations Cup qualifiers against Ecuador.
Talking about the playing style, what do you make of it? I mean, there are so many people who have clamored for the fluid, sleek football that we know, like tiki-taka and the rest of them. Did we see that? Do you think this is a step in the right direction from the Gennaro era, as well as the short stint of Austin Eguavoen?
The truth is, we need the gaffer that understands what it takes to be the coach of the Super Eagles. And I think our own base coach doesn't have what it takes. The technicality has not been top-notch from the home base. So I don't know. I actually don't want to base my judgment on just this first game, because we actually saw some glimpse of the panic of the sweet football we've been clamoring for. But we should not judge our judgment. We should not judge by this first game. Okay. Subsequently, I know the coach will actually bring his own ideas, and I expect the Super Eagles to actually buy that and also play to the coach instruction. Let's just be hopeful. It's still early days to yes, it wasn't a result we all want to hear, losing 2-1. But trust me, we can give the coach the needed support. Trust me, the Super Eagles become good under the new coach.
Okay, let's talk about, the goal scorer, Cyril, Desires. One of the stars, it must be said, is probably the highest goal scoring, Nigerian this past season when you have to look at our strikers. Do you think he has what it takes to, fill in that spot if Victor Osimhen, for example, is absent, just as we had yesterday, or rather on Saturday?
One department the Super Eagles have never been lacked of in recent years is the striking department. Over the years, even though most of them are not that prolific, but we have names that can actually shape any defense in the world. So, if I'm not mistaken, he scored 24 goals.
Yes.
He scored 24 goals over the couple over last season.
Yes.
And it is a perfect platform for him to actually convince the new coaching crew that yes, I can do it. It was actually a sweet assist from the
from Calvin Bassey. Yep.
So it's actually a good platform for him to make a statement to the new coach that yes, we have an established striker in person of Victor Osimhen, but I can hold my own when it comes to scoring goals. So we need that. We need that kind of mentality. The competitiveness of the Super Eagles in recent years it has actually reduced. Gone are those days whereby we have like 2-3 quality players in each department. So that's what we're actually calling for. All players will actually up their game. You will understand the fact that yes, if I messed up in this particular game, there is a ready-made replacement for me. So it's actually good and welcoming development that we have a striker that knows how to score goals. So it's a good platform for him to sell himself to the new coaching crew.
Okay, let's delve quickly, into our domestic football league. Good news have been, emanating from the Nigerian Professional League from the endorsement deal with Bitnob as an elite partner of the league. That was sometime last week to 8 players being invited for the friendly matches against Mexico and Ecuador. The latest has to do with, the on-field action. Rivers United have maintained their 7-point lead at the top of the standings. What do you make of this? Do you think it's done and dusted for Rivers United?
If you look at the table now, Rivers United are actually with 64 points, followed by Plate United with 57 points.
Yeah.
That's like
with 8 games left, 7 points.
That's like 7 points, but we have 8 games to go. This is the Nigerian Premier League whereby anything can happen, but I don't see Plate United upstaging them. Even though they had a good outing over the weekend, defeating Rangers United by Rangers International, I beg your pardon, by 4 goals to 0. But trust me, this is the Nigerian Premier League. I think this is done and dusted. Hopefully, let's just say, Plate can actually keep them a fight for the running. But I don't see that happening at this stage of the league. It is almost done and dusted for Rivers United to be the champion in the waiting for the Nigerian Premier League.
Okay, let's see how that pans out. Plateau United definitely, ensuring that they're also keeping up, on the heels of Rivers United, demolished Rangers United, or Rangers International rather, by 4 goals to 0 over the weekend.